Liam Coen and Trevor Lawrence, they obviously had a bunch of success last year, win the division, 13 games. Lawrence threw a career-high 29 touchdowns, but Coen knows there's much room for Trevor to grow.
4 new systems, multiple different head coach situations, OCs, whatever it is. Go throughout the season. And you find out, he doesn't miss a single practice, doesn't miss a single throw in practice. Right. Played the whole season. Obviously, MVP finalist, comeback player of the year finalist. Did some great things. There's so much room to continue to improve. Yeah. And I think that's what we're excited about attacking. But when you start with A, humility, and B, toughness, mentally and physically, I think you can do a lot with a quarterback.
Yeah, I think one of the things, John, that has changed in football in my life, it used to be you had to put in the time. And that's just not the way it is. If the owner and the GM think you're sharp and you're 38, they don't care. I don't remember a time in my life, McVay's still young, and McDonald and DeMeco Ryans and Kevin O'Connell. There are so many good coaches. Liam Coen literally walks into a dysfunctional organization. And they lost to Buffalo in the playoffs because Buffalo's been there before. Yeah. But I love Trevor Lawrence. I was kind of ready to sell all my stock. And then you're like, oh, that's the guy I liked out of college. Liam's really, really good at what he does. He doesn't get the love because he's in Jacksonville, right? And it's a small market. And it's kind of buried. We talk more Dolphins. Liam Cohen's a great coach. Baker Mayfield had him and I think misses him. I think he's really a special coach.
I had sold all my stock. I didn't own any Trevor Lawrence stock. It shows you the power of Liam Coen. Honestly, if I had a choice between Liam Coen or Trevor Lawrence, if I was an owner, I would take Liam Coen. He feels like he's got a chance to be pretty special.
I agree.
Trevor's clearly, I think he earned some toughness credit last year. He played well. He's productive. He was thoroughly, I thought, outplayed in the playoff game against Josh. It was a little hit or miss. But I would be pretty. They did lose Travis Etienne, or Achane, I guess is his actual name. The Titans are going to be better. We know how good the Texans is. The AFC's hard. I think it's going to be hard for the Jags to get back. But to baseball,
Not shifting to baseball. I actually enjoy it when they point out how a team like the Jaguars gets ignored and doesn't get enough discussion. That's exactly why I put so much effort into making Jaguars content. That's why I keep asking you all to subscribe and watch the full videos. Because I'm trying to break through with that, right? I am genuinely trying to get traction there. So please, Jaguars fans, don't forget to hit subscribe and watch until the end. When you subscribe while watching, the view counts go up, the subscriber numbers go up. And again, it's not about chasing numbers. It's about being able to create Jaguars videos that people actually want to watch. Otherwise, they get maybe 200 views and 1 comment, and it's like, when you all show up, we actually get to talk about the Jaguars. Like we actually have real conversations. So I always try to put in the work to cover everybody and to make sure that with the Jaguars, we actually have legitimate, grounded, unbiased discussions. So it's funny because someone in the comment section last week said, where's the Jaguars content? I want to see Jaguars content. And I was like, why? I just posted one about a week ago. Then I posted another video. Then another. And now this is my 3rd Jaguars video, I think, within the last 4 days or so. So whenever I can find a way to make it happen, I definitely will. Yeah, I just find it amusing to hear them also say, oh, I was kind of selling why belief in Trevor Lawrence? And I knew as soon as Liam Coen got there that they had the potential to be great. That they had the potential to be truly good. And it didn't exactly unfold the way I thought it would. I was ready to say, I'm done with this. Because I really didn't like some of the interactions between Trevor Lawrence and Liam Coen. I thought, okay, this is clearly not going to work. I just didn't see it. But then it did work. And then it became, okay, this is what I was expecting. But I love what Liam said there about there still being so much room to continue proving themselves. And it's true. I feel like even operationally, there is still a kind of slipperiness to Trevor Lawrence. I've talked about this. I often use the analogy that it feels like they're on ice. There were a lot of moments where the Jaguars and Trevor specifically felt like they were on ice. Things just felt slippery. It was more about him reacting rather than him executing. It was more about him responding in real time rather than him surveying, analyzing, understanding what needs to be done, and then executing. There is a difference. There really is. I know this is going to sound so corny, but it's like the Matrix, right? Where you won't need to dodge the bullet. You'll reach the point where you just don't have to dodge it. What we saw last season was Trevor and the Jaguars having moments of greatness and being awesome, but it was more about them dodging in those moments rather than saying, no, 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 we control this environment. We control the Matrix right now. And that's what a great coach can bring. I do agree with the sentiment. I'm definitely more of a coach-centered person in my perspective. And fortunately for the Jaguars, I don't have to choose between Liam Coen and Jacksonville. But when Liam Coen got there, and during the early season when there were some issues, I was saying, guys, Liam Coen is the guy. If this doesn't work, it's not Liam Coen who's getting fired. Because I believe in Liam. And I have to imagine that the people who actually interact with him, who are responsible for understanding what he's saying because it matters for their team and for how much money they're paying people, they know how important he is. Outside of established coaches like Sean McVay and Andy Reid, Liam Coen is my absolute favorite. I would absolutely, positively love to play for him. There are other great coaches in this league, and I'd be grateful to play for them too. But I don't feel the same way. I just believe in Liam Coen's approach so much. I believe his approach is such an awesome way to get the best out of you. Even in a moment I highlighted before, one I took issue with because Trevor shrugged him off, and that really bothered me. Even in that moment, Liam's coaching approach is something I absolutely love. Trevor Lawrence made a mistake. He made the wrong type of throw, which directly led to an incompletion, his receiver getting hit hard. And then they didn't convert or score a touchdown. So there was a real consequence, the difference between winning and losing. And Liam Coen came to Trevor like, whatever. People tried to downplay that, but no, it was a legitimate moment. I wasn't saying it was doomsday, that it was all over, that Trevor is a terrible person, etc. But it was a real moment. And that kind of stuff genuinely matters. It really does. You can't just say, oh, they're just two people competing. No, those moments genuinely matter. Especially because in real time, Liam Coen is coaching. We're actually seeing a coach in real time. A lot of the time we don't really see it because they're talking quietly, or they're sitting on the bench looking at a tablet, and we don't know what they're saying. For all we know, they could be talking X's and O's in that moment. Other times, you don't know if they're just saying, come on, you've got to bring it. This is what we talked about in practice. You don't really know. But in that moment, he was literally saying, you threw the wrong type of throw. Throw it this other way. And the way he did it was, I'm correcting a mistake in real time. I'm doing it in a supportive way. I'm doing it like, come on, man. You've got this. You know how to do this. Put it right on the chest. Come on. And it wasn't done in an intense way. It wasn't aggressive or confrontational. Which is why I took issue with how Trevor handled it, because it's like, buddy, yo. You are being coached in such an optimal way right now. And that coaching style resonates with me so much. Even the conversation he had here, where he talked about all the positives but still acknowledged there's so much room for improvement, that's such a balanced approach. So listen, I know about the Texans and the Titans and all that. But if there can be genuine, continued development with Trevor Lawrence, and therefore by extension with Liam Coen, then there's no reason the Jaguars won't be great and won't be a top team in the NFL. I want to see that next level. I don't want to see a continuation of last season. I want to feel like when I'm watching Trevor and this Jaguars offense specifically, I want to feel more settled. I want to feel more intentional and less reactive. That is my hope. Even saying something like, oh, Josh Allen outplayed Trevor Lawrence, that's true, and you can't even be upset by that. I know Jaguars fans aren't going to love Josh Allen, but Josh Allen is an elite quarterback and is awesome, and yet even he has played poorly in playoff games and wasn't his best version against the Denver Broncos. So even making that statement, Josh Allen against the Jaguars was playing out of his mind. Even a throw that looks like he just dropped back and threw the ball, no. His main dagger throw wasn't just the throw. It was the execution. It was the throw itself. It was changing the play. It was the whole collection of events, how it all unfolded, the touch. The push, everything. Trevor can be set up for those moments too. But he just has to be more settled, because he is athletic, he is tough, he's a big strong quarterback. But I don't think he can rely on that side of his game as much. I want to see Trevor be a high-level executor. If Trevor Lawrence could honestly bring some of the execution talents of a Brock Purdy or even a Kirk Cousins, it's almost game over. Seriously. You're talking about combining that with Liam Coen and Trevor Lawrence's physical skill set. It becomes game over. The deeper Trevor can understand quarterback play, and the deeper he can trust Liam Coen and truly be an avatar and extension of him on that field, executing the offense as Liam sees fit, again, it becomes a wrap to me. You instantly become a devastating team. A devastating team with a devastating offense. So I'm excited to see how this continues to evolve. But I have high expectations for genuine growth. I really, really want to see that growth. I want to feel like when they play these games going forward, they have their feet firmly on the ground. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about Trevor Lawrence, Liam Coen, and the Jacksonville Jaguars? And whether we should be talking about the Miami Dolphins more than the Jaguars, not sure why, the Dolphins haven't done anything in a while. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some debates. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you as part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, it really helps with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.